recognize that song as Bally High. It's been done by numerous people. Of course, this is from the soundtrack of South Pacific. Annapolis Opera is putting this production on this weekend, and they join us now. Kathy Sweigel's in the house. Good morning, Kathy.
Good morning, Bill.
And thanks for coming by this morning.
Well, thanks for having us back.
Okay, and you brought some folks with you, too. You've got Kristen Bowers and Nora Graham-Smith.
Well, I do, but we call them Emile and Nellie.
Oh, Emile and Nellie. How you doing?
Hi.
Morning.
Good morning to you. So tell us about the production. How long you've been getting it together?
Well, we've actually been working on this over a year, but our performers have been with us now for 3 weeks. So they've been in town and working literally 5 to 6 days a week for multiple hours every day, putting in all of their not only artistic touches, but learning new skill sets too, because we have some of them moving set pieces and becoming all kinds of interesting characters that can only happen in American musical theater.
Okay, now you say they've only been in town, so you are from out of town?
Yes.
Where are you from, Nora?
Well, I call Lancaster, Pennsylvania my base.
Okay.
Originally, I'm from Rochester, New York.
Okay, so you're down up there in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And how about you, Kristen?
I'm originally from Sullivan County, New York, but D.C. was my home base for the last 2 years.
Okay, so how many people are in the cast, by the way?
Well, we have a chorus of almost 20. I think we're about 19. And then we have 5 principals, and then we also have on top of that 4 what we call secondary roles or supporting roles. So it's a fairly nice sized cast. It's not the largest that we've had at the opera. Many operas call for choruses of upwards to 50 or more. But for our stage and our organization, this is a perfect size production, and it fits the Maryland Hall for the Creative Arts stage beautifully. And a lot of our choristers are local folks who have music as their second love and have been with us for many years.
Okay, their avocation. All right, now, as we look at the events that the Annapolis Opera has, do you do regular, like, Puccini and operas that are in the opera realm rather than Broadway plays, too?
Well, of course, and we're based primarily in the tradition of Western European opera, but people forget that the American musical theater genre is actually our personal touch on that tradition, and many opera companies since the 50s have been performing some of these great pieces, especially those by Rodgers and Hammerstein. Mm-hmm. You're talking about things like Oklahoma, Carousel, which if you look up even Google, Wikipedia, anything like that, it'll give you the definition for American musical theater is almost identical to the definition of opera, which is storytelling with music, a libretto, which is a spoken word, script, and dancing and sets, and it's all just deeply married. So this year we're doing 2 related works, which is South Pacific and Madama Butterfly.
Okay, great. I like the idea because I can understand the words.
Well, we make it easy. We put up a cheat sheet for everybody called a super title board. So even if you don't speak Italian or French, you know what the story is happening in the story, and you can follow it along.
Okay, well, in this particular one, it's in English. Are you going to put up Italian words for the people that don't understand Italian?
I wish it should be French, though, because we are in Polynesia.
That's right. Okay. Well, so what's it like with the opera, Nora? Tell us about your role in what you're doing here.
Oh, gosh. Well, first of all, I'm so excited to be in Annapolis. This is just a beautiful community and steeped in such wonderful history. So it's very exciting for me to be here and to kind of explore this town. Okay. My role in South Pacific is Nellie Forbush. She is an officer because she's a nurse.
That's right, yeah.
And nurses in World War II were automatically made officers, so they would not carouse with the enlisted men. So it limited their...
No fun, huh?
No, exactly. Well, it limited their scope of who they actually got to know and were allowed to get to know, because they were only allowed to get to know other officers
Right.
who were often married. So Nellie comes to the South Pacific wide-eyed, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, as I say, from Little Rock, Arkansas, and has her ideas of what the world is like and should be like kind of blown out of the water, literally and figuratively, I should say. So she comes from a family in Little Rock that has instilled in her really views that are very limiting and very small, especially racially. So she eventually comes to accept people and love people of all different races and colors through this story, but it's not without a lot of angst and a lot of questioning, a lot of tears.
Okay. And how about you, Christian? Your role?
So I'm playing the old Frenchman, Emile de Becque, and he fled to the island when he left France. He killed someone, which I don't know how much we should say on the radio because I don't want to give too much away. But anyway, so I fled to this island and started a life of my own and started working and creating this colony. And yeah, you'd have to come and see the rest. I don't want to give too much away, so I think you kind of explained some of it. But anyway, I ended up marrying a Polynesian woman, and there's many surprises throughout the show.
And Nellie and Emile their stories are entwined. That's all we'll say about that.
Okay. Okay, they're entwined.
I help in her development of tolerance.
Yes.
Okay, there you go. All right, and some of the songs that come out of the musical, like Some Enchanted Evening and tunes like that. Do you sing that, Christian?
Yeah, so I have every song in South Pacific is wonderful, but I get the two tearjerkers, Some Enchanted Evening and This Nearly Was Mine, which are just great staples in American repertoire, and I've performed them at many a cocktail party and donor event, birthday party, and people always come up and say, "Oh, that's my wedding song."
Oh, so this is your ongoing role. You've done this before.
No, this is actually my first crack at this role, but I do a lot of musical theater stuff for parties, and anytime I attend a wedding, this is kind of a go-to. Some Enchanted Evening is a kind of a go-to to kind of offer to the bride and groom. So
okay. I remember the Temptations had a pretty good version of that. As a matter of fact, in the 90s, and they came out with a version of Some Enchanted Evening. I think it was the Polynesian Mix or whatever they called it.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
But it's pretty good. Okay, and what songs do you get to sing, Nora?
Oh my gosh, well, I get a lot of the up-tempo ones, so I'm gonna wash that man right out of my hair.
Oh, there you go.
Cockeyed Optimist and Wonderful Guy.
Okay, great. Well, hey, Kathy, how do we get tickets?
Well, all you have to do is call the Maryland Hall box office at 410-280-5640, and tickets are going quickly. So I would encourage everyone to pick up the phone today.
All right, well, get on board. It's an evening show and a matinee, right?
We have Saturday at 8 p.m. and this Sunday at 3 p.m.
Okay, so you can go out Friday evening and enjoy Annapolis by candlelight, then go see South Pacific on Saturday. Thank you all for stopping by. I hope it's a great program.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
We appreciate the time.
Oh, it's our pleasure having you on board this morning. That's Kathy Schweikel with the Annapolis Opera Company, along with Christian Browers and Nora Graham-Smith, principals in the production of South Pacific, taking place this weekend at Maryland Hall.